everyone, this is Isaac here, and welcome back to Isaac Reviews 2023. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is a very tragic franchise. They were once a titan of the film industry, making some of the most critically and commercially successful movies in recent memory. But then came the turn of the decade, and with it, a massive decline in quality for their output. Granted, not everything to come out of Phases 4 and 5 was bad. While No Way Home and Guardians 3 are the obvious standouts, there have been a few other decent movies and shows to come out of the last two phases. It's just too bad that for every good project we get, it has to be surrounded by a lot of bad ones. And this brings us to The Marvels, the latest edition in Phase 5. It's serving as a sequel to a lot of projects, namely Captain Marvel, WandaVision, Miss Marvel, and Secret Invasion. I actually liked WandaVision, very hot take, I know. Miss Marvel was cute, but would have been better as a movie in my opinion. Secret Invasion was crap, and then there's Captain Marvel. Now, let me be clear, I'm not one of those terminally online conservative reactionaries who complains about everything being quote-unquote woke whenever a movie or show has a woman or person of color in the lead. I have better things to do than be mad about the existence of a black Spider-Man or make hundreds of videos demonizing Brie Larson and Rachel Zegler for the crime of being in movies. But at the same time, yeah, I thought Captain Marvel was an awful movie and that the title character herself was a boring Mary Sue. Alright, so The Marvels is a follow-up to two projects I liked and two that I hated, and leading up to its release, I didn't really have any major expectations for it other than me being excited to see my favorite Scrunkly Scrimblow Autismo Wismo again. Also, I forgot to mention this in my MCU Phase 4 video, so I'll say it here instead. I headcanon Kamala is autistic. I'm probably one of the only people out there who headcanons her as such, but she is 100% on the spectrum and you cannot convince me otherwise. Other than that, I didn't expect a whole lot out of The Marvels, and after seeing the movie with my mom on Thursday, I think she made the right call to have a beer while watching it, because while it may not be as bad as some of Marvel's other movies, yeah, it's still pretty bad. Its premise is a pretty straightforward one, where a rift in the space-time continuum causes Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Miss Marvel to switch places whenever they use their powers. And I do think that the leading lady's dynamic was pretty on point, and Kamala was a precious baby who stole the show and my heart whenever she was on screen. The problem, however, comes from the movie's tone and pacing, because it is a mess. This is a movie that feels like a lot of studio interference happened behind the scenes. I'm sure director Nia DaCosta was trying her best, but given all the reshoots and delays that happened, the movie feels really incoherent with a lot of scenes feeling poorly stitched together. And a good showcase of this is in the tone. I'm not saying it's impossible to balance more than one tone in a movie, but this is definitely not how you do it. It tries to be funny, it tries to be serious, it tries to be emotional, it tries to set up the future for the MCU, and there's even a scene where the movie becomes a musical and Carol becomes a Disney princess, but none of it works. Okay, there was like one funny scene with the Flurkins eating everyone, but yeah, that's about it. And it doesn't even get me excited for what Marvel has in store, with a few exceptions of course, because the movie I had to sit through just wasn't fun or engaging. That last part especially applies to the villain Dar-Ben. I'm just gonna come out and say it, she is a very strong contender for the worst villain in the MCU. She has like one brief bit of exposition and then next to no development for the rest of the movie other than being an obstacle our heroes need to overcome. So what if she's waging war on the galaxy and slaughtering millions of innocent people? She doesn't have any clear motivations or development beyond Captain Marvel bad, and that's not interesting at all. Okay, so we've gotten through one problem with a lot of modern MCU projects with the bad writing, now on to the other problem, the use of CGI. And this movie's visuals are a very mixed bag. It has some great cinematography, and some of the CGI does look pretty good, but some of the green screen shots look hilarious in how awful they are. Like, this is a movie that costed $220 million, and it has effects that look like they came from a parody video. How is this the same studio that made Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 only 6 months prior? I know I've been sounding pretty negative so far, but The Marvels thankfully isn't as bad as some of the other recent MCU projects. I enjoyed the main characters, especially my sweet autistic baby Kamala, and some of the visuals looked okay, but the writing was terrible, the villains sucked, the green screen effects were embarrassing, and the tone had no idea what it wanted to do with itself. If you've fallen out of favor with the MCU after Guardians 3, you won't be missing much if you skip this one. As for me, I'll probably be sticking with the MCU to make these sort of videos, and who knows, maybe they might make something good here and there, but if this is what we should be expecting from Marvel nowadays, at least I'll have some good material for future videos. 4 out of 10, put Iman Vellani in charge of Marvel Studios. Next time, it seems that I'll be pretty busy in time for Thanksgiving weekend, but to start things off, I'll be talking about The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I haven't seen any of the other Hunger Games movies, but at least this one is a prequel, so maybe it can be a good introduction. Anyways, thanks for watching this episode of Isaac Reviews 2023, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!